internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking. Then I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought I was healthy. Yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Well, they let me back on the show. That's pretty cool. It's weird to be back. It's good to be back. The first time in 8 days, I'm in God's country. I'm in the 402, joined by, today, my partner, the OTB OG, E-Strike. What's up, partner? See you in person. Which one are you on?
I'm on this one, my
You're on 3. That's what I thought. Okay. There we go.
Do I need to? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Can you see me? My face?
I'm moving it. We're good.
All right, we good. Okay. Yeah, Stricky in here working with the Boxster, just trying to handle a few things. So that's why I'm not on my normal microphone. Is that what it is? Microphone? Yeah.
It is now.
And, it wasn't Terrell Farley's fault. You know what I mean? Shout out to Terrell. Terrell, he's a man of integrity. But boy, that captain. That captain, he'll do something. He'll do something and pass the blame or the duchy to the left-hand side. He'll do it in a
Except
minute.
he's thrown to the right-hand side.
He threw it to the right-hand side this time, but that's okay. We're gonna let him miss us today. You know what I'm saying?
Dodge,
he can't
dive,
blind
dip,
me with
duck, and
science.
dodge.
He can't blind me with science today.
No, sir. Not
man, it's good
allowing
to have you back in the building, my boy. We did miss you, man. It was
You're just saying
it was it was uneventful because with you, the resident encyclopedia, I got asked a whole bunch of stuff. They talking to some other people, and they're like, boy, that Austin, he knows a lot. I said, man, if I throw something out there, he picks it up what I'm putting down. So
I tried.
It's good to have you back in the building, my boy. You had a good time out there in Vegas, man. It was. I have to ask you, what was like the feeling of, because I'm going to be honest, my expectations was they would play solid, but I honestly can't say.
Did you want the Vegas part or the Nebraska basketball part?
Well, give me the Vegas first and then the Nebraska basketball part.
Yeah, we will certainly get into plenty of Nebraska men's basketball, wrap up their season here. Honestly, Strick, driving into Vegas, I was overwhelmed. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of lanes of traffic. There's a lot of cars. And even the little lane markers aren't painted that bright. It's just like a few little dots. They're supposed to be reflective of like headlights and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's the best you've seen in the lane. Stayed in the lanes, didn't get in crash or anything. So just even driving it was a little overwhelming. I've never had valet service before. Like, that's what my hotel offered. Like, I'm not that guy. I'm not a valet. I'm not a big baller like that. I parked in the exact same lot for $2 cheaper too. So it all worked out at the end of the day. By day 1.5, day 2, I would say I settled in. I mean, my hotel was right there on the strip. I just kind of walked up and down. It was mostly how I entertained myself. Right? I'm just gonna go explore. Right? Maybe find a place on Google Maps and just take a hike. Right? Just go for it. See what happens. But that's where I appreciate you guys still inviting me on to the show. Give me something to do, something to anchor my day around, something to build my day around. Vegas was fine. It was fun.
Now, that was your really first time experiencing Vegas, right?
First time setting foot in Vegas.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
Didn't do the whole Vegas 9 yards of everything. I can tell you.
No shows.
Okay.
So, but okay.
And didn't spend $1 on blackjack.
Right.
Didn't spend $1 on roulette.
Not
didn't
even
spend $1
one
on craps. Not even $1. Not even one spin on a slot.
Put it on.
I didn't do it.
Black or yellow or red. Not red. Yeah. Black or red. No.
I did not do it.
If you would have put it on red, you might have hit because Big Red hit.
But I might have lost. And little Herbie ain't eating.
That's true.
He's either not eating or he's eating real well. And I'll just keep eating the same.
Man, no, man, look, that's good that you had an awesome time to experience. But here's the beautiful thing about, there's things about Vegas. I always tell people, if you're going to go to Vegas, have a plan.
I did not.
It's tough to go to Vegas without a plan because there's so much that you can kind of get lost in the shuffle of just trying to figure out what are we, what's going to go down today, how's it going to happen, because if you're focused on the plan, then it kind of flows nicely. Like, I learned that I'm either going to go because I'm going to do shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go to multiple shows. Whatever that is, however that is, on strip, off strip, whatever, right? Certain people I might say, we're going to kick it. Like, we're going to literally party. And so then you kind of find yourself, so then your daytime, which normally would be, observing, going around, seeing things, turns into I'm sleeping, getting ready for whatever this long night's about to be, right? Because otherwise you'll wear yourself out. And you were there for almost a week.
More than a week. I left Sunday afternoon and I landed back at 10:45 this morning.
Well, there it is.
Yeah. Well, I got to the airport Sunday afternoon.
Right.
To the Lincoln Airport Sunday afternoon. Had a 3-hour delay and a 3-hour delay. It was pretty brutal getting out there, and today I'm getting through it. So bear with me if I say something that's more stupid than usual. I will say, Stricky, the trip ended on a bit of a high note, right? Obviously great to come back. So you see the wife and kid for the first time in person in 8 days. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, that was fantastic and incredible. But last night I left left T-Mobile Arena and just headed straight back to my hotel. Called in for post game, obviously, got packed up, checked out, 13, 14 hours early or whatever, and just headed to the airport, right? Didn't have anything much to do, even with a late flight. So I'm sitting there just chilling. About 10 minutes before we board, who walks up but DJ Carstensen, Nebraska fans' favorite, the official that Nebraska fans love to hate. He worked the championship game of the Crown, which we'll obviously get to here in just a minute. But yeah, DJ Carstensen and I were on the same flight from Vegas to O'Hare. And not only were DJ Carstensen and I on the same flight, we were in the same row of seats. He was on the aisle on the left-hand side. I was on the window on the right-hand side. Kind of acknowledged him, like, hey, I know who you are, right? What's going on? We both got off the plane. He got off ahead of me, and I thought, okay, that's that. Cool. Saw DJ Carstensen rode on the same plane as him. That is what it is. Well, come to find out, we both wanted McDonald's for breakfast. I actually beat him there, ordered first, and was just kind of, hanging out waiting for my order and whatnot. And DJ Carstensen sees my little Nebraska pullover that I had on. Just said, hey, what'd you think? Were you at the games this week? Like, yeah, I was. So we had a nice little conversation between me and DJ Carstensen, who, to be completely honest, when I look at him, he looked just like tough, grizzled, like substitute teacher or like assistant principal kind of disciplinarian vibes.
He looks like Prometheus to me.
Little bit. Yeah.
Kind of tall, just kind of lumbers around like Prometheus.
Yeah.
You
It has a
seen the
little bit of
movie?
a scowl.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Nice dude.
Yeah.
Soft voice, conversationalist. It was a nice little conversation. The DJ Carsonson initiated with me. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So then, I get my food, went our separate ways, shook his hands, whatever. He's on a different flight. 20 minutes before I board that next flight from O'Hare to Lincoln, who walks up but Andy Jackson, Nebraska volleyball player.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm on the left window. She's on the right window. Same row seats and everything.
You like being on the left side?
Well, I was on the left on the way from Chicago to Lincoln, but I was on the right from Vegas to
there.
Yeah,
okay.
no, I have no preference. I do like window seats though.
You like window seats?
I like the view.
I
know
why.
I got long legs, and don't get me wrong, I love me an aisle seat as well, but airplanes just capture my attention.
Mm-hmm.
I love looking out the window.
Okay.
Just being able to like pick up. Oh, I see that. The views are second to none. I forgot my book, so it gave me something else to do to look at stuff. I did watch Dune 1 and 2. I got about 55, 60% of the way through Dune on the way from Denver to Vegas. And I was able to finish it and then get the other one in too from Vegas to Chicago. But airplanes are just so freaking cool, man. My wife does not like to fly. And not like we did it a ton when I was growing up. I just don't hate the airport experience. I don't mind it. Airports are fun. I love airports. Airplanes are so cool. Like, I'm the guy that'll turn my head, just like watch the airplanes come in and watch the airplanes take off because I don't understand it. It is a miracle of science that we're able to get these heavy things off the ground like that. Airplanes are just freaking sweet, man.
I can say I like window seats for a different reason than you.
What's that?
It's because I'm broad-shouldered. I'm very broad-shouldered. So if I don't mind sitting in the aisle, especially if I'm on a trip to where I know I want to have access to get off quickly or whatever the case may be, or I'm trying to make some type of transition. But I will say that I like to lean up on the window, and if I want to fall asleep, or I like to be able to lean to my right so I can, if there happens to be somebody in the middle, they're not bumping and grinding on my shoulder. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the part that I like that for, because otherwise, if I'm in the aisle, guess who's got to walk by to deliver drinks and goodies?
The cart.
Yeah. So.
We got Champ in the house. He's strict.
The champ is here.
The
champ is here. What up, Jay Money?
How about Mike? Jeff,
yeah, man. Pull up a chair, Mike. Hey. Yo, Jeff Grace in the building, man.
College basketball crown champion.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Grace.
What's
man
up?
who is a little richer today. Jeffrey Grace the third.
Got a little paperwork in your pocket, huh?
About that.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with that.
So I need to, because I can honestly say I've been in the position that you were, and a lot of disappointment in my senior year, and I saw the emotion from Juwan, after the Iowa loss, and I was hoping that you guys would take the opportunity to go and do that. It's something about that taste, that bitter taste of what you knew should have been to what actually transpired.
Yep.
And the fact that you guys, so tell us about that part. How did the decision come to play? Was there a group meeting? Was it a meeting with the staff? Was it a sit down personally? You guys came together? Because for us, it was, we actually collectively first came together, and, we knew that we're going to be invited to the NIT, but we came together to change the mindset of what we wanted to establish going forward. How did it happen for y'all?
So pretty much it happened. It was always like a speculation of in the air. So then it kind of came about more of like us, if we wanted to do it. And I think everyone didn't want to have that bitter taste kind of feeling, losing to Iowa our last game, home game. having a lot of bumps in the road
Yeah.
with the season. Didn't really go exactly how we really wanted it to go. So I think just having this opportunity of ending the season on a high note, and then also sending both Jawan and Bryce, who was tremendous for us the whole year. Sending that on a high note, I think that's just really much everything about basketball. I mean, college basketball at its finest.
I think it also was a positioning to put them and set the tone for professional next step, right?
Sure.
Like you said, it's very Janet Jackson-y.
Mhm.
What have you done for me lately?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like all the numbers and stuff and all the accolades and all of the national, all of that stuff is good. But to go out that way, the inaugural, what was the emotions? One, being there in Vegas that long, practice. What was the mentality and the approach of it? Because I'm going to be honest, me on the outside looking in, what I saw, it made me do an Arsenio Hall. You may be too young to know Arsenio Hall.
Yeah.
And you know, he would always say, it makes you say, there's things that make you say, And it had me thinking that way to watch you guys communicate, respond, rotate, rebound, just execution, discipline. I'm like, where, you know what I'm saying? Like I saw it and I saw what, if that was that from what you guys ended, there's a whole different game. Like, so take us through one, being there for that time frame. What practices were like, the readiness for even yourself, guys like you and guys like Cale Jacobson didn't really play. You know what I'm saying? Like, walk me through real quick.
So pretty much,
Austin, you go. I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to take Jeff's time. All
you're good. So we had like a 3-week period of like practice, hardcore, getting back in shape. Because after the season, I mean, no one really know like the time length of like when we would be starting to like prepare and everything. Because we knew it was gonna happen. We didn't know exactly when. So we still had like practices, lifting and conditioning with Kurt. So that was pretty cool. Just like being in the locker room again, being around like my teammates and stuff like that. And then once like it approached, which is kind of crazy, like our first game was against Arizona State, which I went to Arizona State my freshman year. So it was like a full circle moment for me. And honestly, it was really cool because like it was an opportunity, like not just for the moment, but for like the moment bigger than itself. Because like as you said, it allows people to see someone differently than how they saw them in the season. And like the teams we faced weren't in our conference. So like that's a totally different ballgame you have to like prepare for in preparation. So it was a lot of film sessions, a lot of stuff going on in our film session where we'd walk through in our like dining hall, which was pretty cool. We'd go through like plays and stuff like that. And it was a lot of just like mental preparation of like getting relocked back in for like just these 5 games. Because I mean, after the 5 games, if you don't win the first game, you're going
done.
home.
One and done.
You don't win the second game, you're going home. So like we knew it was kind of like that'd be it kind of thing.
It's very much kind of a professional. Austin, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm just gonna say this point. It's what you guys experience is kind of what it's like in a professional outlook, right?
For sure.
It's being on the road. We have shoot arounds and practices the way that you do it in the dining hall after we eat our meals, and they would put tape and make you think. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly
so you guys got to experience that at a different level. Very good. Awesome.
On that mental side of things, Jeff, you guys get down double digits yesterday, right? You have the lead, then nothing falls for like 10 minutes of game time. First of all, halftime. What was the mood? What was the message at halftime yesterday?
Honestly, it was our body language. That was a big thing because a lot of people like, I don't like from an outside perspective. I don't know if you see it, but like we've been through like so much throughout the year, so we've pretty much seen everything at this point. So like nothing really is really gonna phase us. Like we've been down 20, we've been down 22. Like that stuff doesn't really matter at the end of the day because like at the end of the day, as long as we fight and keep fighting each possession, don't let the defense affect our offense, then we'll be good. And honestly, I think that's what happened. And I think a big spark to that was when Jawan and Gary got hurt and then he came back out, brought a whole different mindset. And honestly, it brought a lot of energy to like allow us to keep playing. And then
Did he get like a cut?
Yeah, he got a
okay.
cut.
So they stitched him.
Yeah. And then those 2 back-to-back dunks by Andrew Morgan, big plays. Then
Boy.
Cale Jacobson, the whole tournament.
Oh yeah,
Big time player.
Big
time
time
player. I'm so happy for him. Couldn't be said any better. Just an amazing kid, amazing person to be around, and just so proud of him. Honestly, he deserves it, every bit of it.
Well, one part of that is you guys really, the things that I saw, first and foremost in the first half, what was going on was you kind of for a second, and why you had the problems you had, you reverted back to some old habits.
Yep.
Isolation.
Yep.
Back downs.
Yep.
Get it, late clock. Let me just try to figure something out. But one thing that was pretty consistent was your assist numbers throughout the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They were upwards of 15 each game,
Mm-hmm.
20 in that game. So you look like you figured that out. Was that a coaching situation? Was that was that between the players? Because that ball started moving again, and that's when things started really happening for you.
Honestly, it was a coaching
It was a coaching deal?
Yeah, Coach Fred really harps about getting into like the bigs and then allowing us to like space out and create, like just keep the ball moving, because as long as you can like keep the defense like shifted, then you have a better chance of like making a better play, stuff like that. So like we were very stagnant for sure.
Yeah.
At the beginning, didn't really have anything falling, nothing really going. There was just a lot going on, a lot of emotions, but we didn't let that allow us to not go out, play our best. Honestly, I think people really saw the true version of Nebraska basketball.
No doubt.
And I think it's tough because that's it. But I think there's so much to look forward to in the years coming.
I wanted to the invitation to come by. Wasn't to throw you on air, but
no, you're good.
You're familiar with this microphone and this booth,
and this guy right here,
right? Right, and to say that as pioneers of kind of what we want to do here, and you coming on and sharing yourself, making time, so that folks have some inside voice, right? To know that the young men in the basketball program are all right. And you are the prototype. So we went and did a thing. You know what's happening, that you need to go up on the wall. You need to be up on the wall here. You're a pioneer, bro.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You're a pioneer to do the basketball thing and to come in and do shows and just keep people connected in Nebraska basketball all year round rather than just in the season. So, you know, we had to support the Jeffrey Grace. Jeffrey Grace joint, right?
That's legit.
Right? So I had to go get the Jeffrey Grace joint. I can have you sign it.
For sure.
Employee number 8.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Put it up on the wall here forever and ever.
That's love.
At the ticket, because you've put in many an hour sitting in here at the old booth and
at the old spot
and the new spot, just sharing who you are,
no doubt,
and what's going on in the program, and for
great
for
spirit
everybody.
of humility, and
right?
you're a lefty too. Huh?
No, I'm a righty.
You're a righty.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah.
About to
That's all.
really
You.
give
That's
you
all
some
you.
love.
That's all
Well,
you, my guy.
I fully expect a video of you two working out.
For sure.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
Oh,
Jeffrey
Strick doesn't want that
Jeffrey,
smoke.
I really don't, because Jeffrey's going.
I didn't say a game of 21. I said work out.
Minutes in the
I
post.
said work out. Listen, I'm not doing that to neither one of y'all. I said I need y'all shooting shots and everything else. But JJ, let me say thank you. Thank you, bro, for always showing up, for being who you are, being a great ambassador for Nebraska basketball. I know how much it means to the Hoiberg family. I know how much it means to you. And you know, we got the text earlier in the week, and you said, "Well, I'm hearing that." I said, "Man, I see you after you win the title on Sunday," and I meant that then.
Yep.
And that's how I told you. I told you. I'll see you after you win it. So that's what it was. So thank you for the wall. That's what we're gonna do, bro.
I appreciate you. Yes, sir.
Who had the best time in Vegas?
Who had the best time in Vegas?
Who had the best time?
No one really had a good time until the end, honestly. I really stayed locked. There's a lot of
business trip.
There's a lot of distractions going on. Like,
I bet. What hotel y'all staying?
the Aria.
Oh yeah.
And it's like,
oh yeah. y'all was in the mix of the mess.
Yes, exactly. So it was just a lot of preparation, a lot of mentally focused, because in that place it's hard to like just stay locked in, and like, I mean, you can really like don't really want to be there. I mean, it's at the end of the year. Teams are in the transfer portal, like that open as well. Like that was going on, whole thing. So I think just staying locked in was the biggest thing for us, and just having those film sessions and going through the plays really helped a lot.
And I mean, there were so many times that second half yesterday, you guys could have quit. You seen the light at the end of the tunnel and said, nope, we gave it a run, 4 games in 7 days. That's a lot.
Yeah.
How much did seeing so much red in the stands help you guys?
Since I've got to Nebraska, that's never going to change. I've learned there's no fans like Nebraska.
That's a fact.
And people can say what they want about Nebraska, but there's one thing I know about it. Fans will always show up, no matter the time, day, wherever it is.
They'll
always be there.
Going back to my time, Jeff, they literally
It's like 40 years ago, by the way.
sold dang near. We had more fans in the Garden than St. Joseph's had, and they were only an hour away or hour and a half. It's crazy. Would you agree?
It is. It's very eye opening.
Yeah.
And like it's a lot to be grateful for because they don't have to do that, but at the same time, like they want to do it and they want you to know like they have your back, always behind you and stuff like that. And that just means so much. I don't think they get enough credit for that because honestly, there's a lot of things they could be doing during that time, and they decided to show up for us. And it's like we just want to feed off their energy and stuff like that. And I think one thing about in the huddle that we were in was like, how do the seniors want to be remembered? And I don't think they wanted to lose that last game. So I think that really sparked a lot more of it because we were in a media breakdown and when we were talking in the huddle, it was like, we're not losing this game. There's no way. Like, this is not how we're going to be remembered. And I don't think no one really wanted to go out like that because this group it was a tough year. And yeah, times get tough, but at the same time, we never quit. Never quit. Even when we were talked about, doubted, never quit. And I don't think anyone in that locker room, we really cared for each other. So
tough year that ended with 20 wins for the first time since that old guy was in school.
Yeah.
That means something, man.
Yeah.
You guys did it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Back-to-back
an
years.
accomplishment by itself.
That's a fact.
Jeff Grace III, you're the man. Thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate you.
Congrats on the crown win.
Much love. Much love.
You know where to find us.
Yes,
He's
sir.
Jeff. He's Strick. I'm Austin. More on the block on the other side.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
It's never too late to start protecting your company's data from cyber attacks. Your customers put their trust in you to keep their information safe from online threats. Don't let them down. Partner with Hamilton Business Technologies to get real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and experts who monitor it all for you. We care about the success of your business and the communities you serve. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
This is On the Block, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredient Butcher Shop with 3 Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha. That's where they have every type of meat as well as every type of cut. Make sure you check out the Mercado today, especially as it starts to get warmer. The weather gets a little bit nicer. Throw some incredible proteins on the grill. I'm going to get this out of the way. Bill and Bennett says, I got to say, good form on Austin for not being a powder for his Blue Devils getting taken out. I'm through the coping phase. It helped to have Husker basketball to watch, helped to have a job to do. Wildly unfortunate end to the season for the boys from Durham, but an incredible end to the season for the Nebraska men's basketball team. They enter the college basketball crown with a 17-14 record. They leave it with a back-to-back 20-win seasons for the first time since the 90s. A man who was a part of that, Eric Strickland, my partner here during On the Block. Stricky, when you look at Nebraska's season, do you feel any better about, the season, seeing that Nebraska got back to that 20-win plateau and won a postseason tournament? Does it erase kind of the sting of the end of the regular season? Does it atone for it at all? Or do you just kind of shrug it off and say, no, at the end of the day, Nebraska didn't accomplish its main goal, so the season's not a success?
No.
How do you view the season?
I don't ever think there's not an opportunity for atonement. I think there's always an opportunity for redemption. It could be, it doesn't matter what it is, what sport it is, Austin. It could be a bad season, and then boom, all of a sudden you make a playoff run that takes you into the you're a wild card road team, and you end up going the whole route on the road, and then you find yourself, even if you lose the championship, it's still, it doesn't nullify it for me. I think anytime you can turn a negative, no matter what your situation is, in life, in marriage, in friendships, in school, if you can turn a bad grade into a good one, if you can turn a bad you have a project and then you finish it off with your final project of the year being better than that. I always just think there's an opportunity to turn the narrative, change the discussion. And I think Nebraska did that. I think they put themselves in a great position to have those discussions, to have those conversations, to talk and to tell the story to recruits or people that they're trying to bring in out of the travel portal, all that stuff. So yeah, man, I don't think there's nothing lost in that whole deal.
I completely agree. The way that I phrased it with Bach on postgame after you hopped off was, I feel like at the end of the day, Nebraska had a successful enough season.
Yeah.
Was it everything they wanted and more? No, it was not. But it wasn't a failure. It was confounding at times, right? We heard from Jeff, right? He's like, this team went through struggles, but you saw at its best what it was capable of. And I think we expect and hope that the teams we root for play their best every single night. That just doesn't happen, right? The fact that Nebraska was able to rattle off 4-7, the fact that Nebraska won 4 games against top 25 teams, those are all incredible marks. Those are things that haven't been done in this program for a long time. Only the second postseason invitational tournament Nebraska's ever won, and you're familiar with the first one. So it's certainly something. But Strick, I don't know how much the narrative changes for me necessarily, because the Nebraska that we saw in Vegas was the same Nebraska I think we saw all year. Decent start against Arizona State, go into a lull, get to the lineup that works, win the game. Then Nebraska is just better than Georgetown. They took care of business in that game. Georgetown, I think, was a better matchup, down its 2 better players, in especially Micah Peavy, who was out. Nebraska did what it had to do. I'm not going to lie. I was a little surprised Nebraska beat Boise State. That's not one I saw going the Huskers' way, but credit to them for doing what, Stricky? They shot the cover off the ball from 3 over like 60%, which we know Nebraska has the capability of doing, but didn't always do. And then I wasn't sure how the UCF matchup was going to go. That was a quick team. That was an athletic team. That was a long team. And I thought Nebraska handled it pretty well, all things considered. But again, the game yesterday just kind of felt like the whole Nebraska experience boiled down into one game, because you have Bryce Williams going nuts, keeping Nebraska in front and ahead in the first half. You have the scoring drought where they go back to old habits, where they try stuff that doesn't work. You get boneheaded plays, you get the ball fumbled out of bounds. And then you get that incredible resolve that we heard from Jeff. It was keyed by the seniors, right? Not wanting to go out like that. And from Coach Hoiberg, having that belief in his guys and telling them to stick with it. So to me, this whole tournament was pretty much what we saw from Nebraska all year long, just distilled in the span of a week.
And what's also beautiful about that is you found Connor Arcesian had been on the struggle bus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even in this tournament, if you want to equate it to anything, it looked very much, and I'm not saying he's Steph Curry or Chef Curry. I'm not saying that, but it looked like it was when it was in the tournament. He struggle, and then comes, bing, light comes on, and when I tell you the light comes on, he lit the light up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna be honest. You got great production, a consistent production out of Juwan Gary, leading the team in rebounds, shooting great from the free throw. Every area that you had questions about Juwan Gary, he figured it out. He figured it out by the shots that he took, how he took them, staying aggressive on the attack, which opens up for some of those shots that he's been able to make. He figured out like what my strengths, my weaknesses are, what I can and can't do, and how I can be successful in doing it. And this is why his numbers have became the way that they became. Bryce just did Bryce things, but Arcesian came in, they found him, they hunted him. Now, another thing that you saw from Nebraska was the adjustments. I thought defensively they made great adjustments. They didn't give him the same looks, and I thought
before you move off of defense, something that I want to shout out again. I mentioned it with Bach last night, but one of the adjustments Nebraska made was putting Juwan Gary on Jordan Ivy Curry late in that game. All year, what did I say, Strick? Juwan just hasn't been good on the ball. Teams are not afraid to go at him. Juwan stepped up. He answered the bell against a small, quick kind of jitterbug guard that was already hot. Juwan took on that challenge, and I thought did a really good job of it. Hoiberg and Ulis were doing their best, Cale Jacobson at times, but for the first time in a long time, Juwan Gary locked down an opposing guard for a while, and I thought that was a nice adjustment and a senior rising to the moment.
Well, what you get from that is during the season's so long, not NBA long, but still long enough. It's 30 plus games. It's still so long.
And none of y'all NBA guys going to school.
That with school, with practice, there's a thing that works in your mentality to conserve. conserve energy,
Mm-hmm.
conserve, how much I give, when I can give it, look for places to where I can kind of chill.
Mm-hmm.
And so you saw that from Juwan. And, I think all of them in some forms.
Mm-hmm.
But he looked at this as like, it's win or go home.
Yeah.
There is nothing left. And you could see that from what he did towards the end of the season and the emotion he showed, that I'm leaving everything I have in this tank right here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you take that challenge, because it doesn't matter how tired I get, it doesn't matter how I feel. I'm either going to feel the best I'm going to feel with this money in my pocket, or I'm going to, leave it out here and give it all I got.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the difference, I thought.
I want to get to this text from 4601, and this will probably take us through the end of this segment, maybe even next segment as well. 4601 says, if a lot of the guys were coming back, I'd be more excited about winning the crown. The fact that it was mainly seniors this year was a disappointment. To counter Strick, if you were expected to get a B and then were a D student most of the year but finished with a C, is that a success? It shows you don't quit, but overall, not a great year. How do you respond to that, Stricky?
No, I see. To me, this gets back to the narrow of that scope. Whoever that was that said that, the narrow of the mind on that scope. Here's why I say that, and this is no disrespect, because we tend to only look at when the lights turn on at Pinnacle or wherever they're playing, but you don't understand what goes on behind the scenes. You don't understand what happens between the player relationships collectively amongst the players, between the coaching staff. What, you hear about Fred breaking dang near his hand over a board, but you didn't see it.
No.
So there's things that you don't see, that you don't understand, that happens because life is lifing for them, just not on the basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't equate for that.
No.
They're young men. There's things that's going on. They may be having family issues. They may be dealing with girlfriend issues. They may be dealing with internal strife because I don't like you because you shaded me on the last game. There's all these things that go on that you don't see, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's easy for us to take wins and losses and just look at that. And it's the same thing I talked about with refereeing, of how the best you are is when you're in the gray.
Yeah.
With the stuff that we can't see, this is why you have to give them credit, because they could have easily bowed out. They could have easily gave in. They could have easily shut it down. They could have easily 1, 2, 3 Cancun.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there's all types of things. But the fact that there was resilience to stay in and stick and stay, you got to give credit to that. And that's just the only way that I could, best explain it. I wasn't going to ask detailed internal issues.
That's for them.
That's for them. But I can personally say, by going through it and experience it, both at the professional level, and I've seen it on the professional level too. Don't get it twisted. Life be lifing. Things happen. People go through situations, and like the same thing happened with us with Rodman's situation. Rodman coming in, changing the whole, flow of how we did things, and you go on a 10-game losing streak. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where you lose 10 games that cost you a playoff berth by only 3 games. So it's a lot more stuff to it than just the actual wins and losses and how you can, grade that out. That's the way I look at it.
I understand where the texter is coming from. They text back and said, proud of the no quit though. And again, you don't want to turn this basketball program into a participation trophy program.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you did your best. Oh, you made some postseason, so good for you. But I just have to go back to these numbers. Nebraska's played like 129 seasons of basketball. They've made the postseason 27 times. That's it. Yeah. That's not a lot of times. Nebraska's only made it to back-to-back postseasons 12 or 15 times, right? It just doesn't happen. Yeah. Yes, they had bigger sites. Yes, they had more on their agenda. And no, I don't think it was excusable for this group to have a 6-game losing streak and a 5-game losing streak. I really thought the floor was going to be higher for this team, right? That they would have found a way to win one or two of those last 5 games, or steal one of them in the 6-game losing streak and not be in this position. Both things can be true. It doesn't have to be one or the other. There's room for nuance. There's room for context and some wiggle room throughout it, which is where, again, I kind of land where you do, Strick. Nebraska won a postseason tournament for the second time in school history. That is something. Nebraska won 20 games for back-to-back years. Not something that happens at this program. So now, with the season over, the next step is, so what are you going to do about it? If this is the season Nebraska has next year, there could be some fans say, oh, transfer portal, it didn't have the roster. Any given year, it's going to be hard to piece it together. There are going to be some fans that say, okay, build on it. You won 21 games, 4 of them are in the postseason. Let's win 20 in the regular season and then go get 2 or 3 more in the postseason just for fun. And there's not necessarily a wrong opinion on that, but I do think that given what Nebraska showed you it was capable of at times, it's fair to have that question of what if in your mind. What if Nebraska puts it together for 1 more game or 2? But it's too late for that now. 35 games are in the books. This is the Nebraska team that you watched, and at the end of the day, I'd say, on balance, there was more to celebrate than there was to nitpick.
I agree. Nothing really to, there's a lot to it, man. And, you're not going to be overly excited, but let me ask this question. Let me throw it back. Were you that disappointed with Nebraska football? We won a bowl game.
Yeah.
Could have been way worse. Looked
Could have
the
been way
same
better.
as the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Was there growth? Were you excited? I would venture to say I was, that they were able to at least get over the hump and get the monkey off the back that they had for such a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm just a little bit more optimistic, and I take into account growth, even if it's baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
You have a baby, you understand.
I do. He's great. I love him.
Sometimes
so
they'll stumble and they'll fall, and it's up to us to encourage them to get back up. And I think that's what we want to make sure that we do as Nebraska faithful.
He got a basketball while I was gone.
Uh-oh.
He had like little ones, handheld ones.
I think his stroke.
He got a real one.
His shooting stroke
Mm-hmm.
is going to be a little bit better than yours, my boy.
He's going to learn it from me. It's going to be the exact same carbon copy.
He might learn it from Stricky. I might have put it in his left hand.
He's going to swing bat left-handed. That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, I shouldn't say that, because if his left eye is dominant, I guess I'll let him hit right-handed. I guess. But we'll go to break. We have a short segment and then some interesting questions to get to from the text line as we get into hour 2 of On the Block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
I'm Chief Dave Engler. When a fire truck hits a pothole with 12 tons of fast-moving equipment and crew, it's a problem. On your ballot in April is a measure to continue Lincoln's quarter-cent sales tax for street improvements. A vote against eliminates the street funding. A vote for will not raise your taxes and keeps the funding in place. Learn more at LincolnOnTheMove.com.
We use our Lincoln streets every day, and so do first responders. But visitors and out-of-town commuters also do. A quarter-cent sales tax for streets passed by voters in 2019 makes those commuters pay about $6 million a year to improve streets. On your ballot in April is a measure to continue it. A vote against means no more funds from commuters. A vote for will not raise your taxes and commuters still pay. Learn more at LincolnOnTheMove.com. Paid for by the City of Lincoln.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Rick and Austin with you. Jay is out handling some business. 402-464-5685 is the number to our starter Heyman at Jewelers text line, and we will get to your thoughts leading off the second hour of the show. But Stricky, I wanted to get to this. There was kind of a big story in Major League Baseball before the year. The Toronto Blue Jays and superstar first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. were unable to come to terms on a contract extension for Vladito. Excuse me. But just yesterday, they do come to terms. I believe 14 years and $500 million in that range. For a guy that finished as an MVP runner-up a handful of years ago, as a four-time All-Star, two-time Silver Slugger, one-time Gold Glover as well. He's fallen in some big footsteps, though. His dad, is still the only player in the MLB Hall of Fame to go in wearing an Angels hat on his uniform. Of course, Vlad Sr. started with the Expos before going to the Angels, the Rangers, and the Baltimore Orioles at the very end of his career. Who ends up with a better career? Papa or son? Vlad Sr., Vlad Jr. Who gets a better career?
So here's the thing. I'm gonna say Vladito, little Vlad, he's built well. Mentally, the ability to continue to stay into the game and stay focused.
Maybe a little too built physically, but mentally he's there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the grind, the focus, I would say Pops would have the edge. You just have so many things now. You land a 14-year contract. You have to be mindful of what it's going to look like. Is this going to look like an NBA contract where you worked your tail off to get the contract and then all of a sudden you get it and then you fall off?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You've got 14 years. Like, what's your worth ethic going to be? Is it going to continue? I think it's a little bit different from the, dad's time to his time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably less distractions, less stuff to worry about. But we'll see whether or not the focus is going to remain. You're talking about 14 years, bro, to maintain a high level of play. I don't know. I'm beginning to question whether or not 14, you're getting over 10 plus years.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, man.
Even for a guy who right now is, where's he at? He's 26. So this will take him through, just turned 26. It'll take him through his age 40 season.
You know what I mean?
That bat speed starts to go for a bat first player.
Right.
A little scary, Stricky.
It's scary.
A little scary.
That's what I wonder. We'll see, though.
It reminds me a little bit, we'll see, of the Prince Fielder contract. Not Cecil Fielder, see, so however you say it, but Prince Fielder. Prince signed that huge deal with Detroit, 9 years, $214 million. Worked out really well in the first year. 9th place MVP finish, All-Star, Silver Slugger. Wasn't All-Star again the next year. And then he's gone. He's shipped to Texas for the next 3 years, where he plays in 42 games, 158 games, and 89 games. I'm trying to find his homer total. I mean, 25 homers, 55 homers in the 2 years in Detroit, and then just 34 the next 3 after that. Now we know, Prince wasn't exactly the model of peak male performance in physicality, right? I mean, 5'11", 275, that's a really tough way to make a living. People say Vladdy is a little bit more athletic, than maybe his build would indicate. It's going to be hard for him to top his dad. I mean, he's already into his 7th year. By the time Pops was in his 7th year, why is this over here? They both finished, 6th in Rookie of the Year voting. So there's some cool little symmetry between those two. It took Dad till year 9 to win an MVP. I just never see Vlad Jr. winning an MVP.
Yeah, I don't.
I just don't see it, right? In an American League that right now is dominated by Bobby Witt Jr. You could even throw, Gunnar Henderson in that mix. Some people would say Anthony Volpe. I mean, Corey Seager is still around. Tarek Skubal, the Red Sox young crop of players, own this guy named Aaron Judge you might have heard of before, is pretty good as well. Adley Rutschman certainly, I think, deserves a mention in that conversation. Jose Ramirez for Cleveland as well. AL's kind of loaded, right? There's a pretty deep field, and if you're just a bat first baseman, the bar for what you have to do is judge levels. I just don't know if Vladito ever gets back to that. So I think Pops ends up with a better career when it's all said.
I have to agree. I also think that in baseball, there are certain teams that carry a similar mantra to a Detroit now, certain locations that are even probably a Utah now. And like, if you go there, they're probably going to pay you more of a premium. But Milwaukee, they're going to pay you more of a premium because There are probably not going to be a lot of views that come through here. So we've got to figure out a way to retain this level. And so sometimes you end up overpaying because
you feel like you have to.
You have to. And and then you don't want to get the is it a moniker? You don't want to get the stain on you of, you can go, you can develop, you can become, and then all of a sudden,
but you let them walk.
You let them walk. You don't want to get.
You trade them.
Yeah,
that's Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
that's Pittsburgh.
You don't want to get that, unfortunately.
Well, the other side of the coin is you don't want to be a sucker either. You don't want to hand out these big money extensions,
right? Because
then who knows who's going to play it next?
It's
just get it right, GMs. Come on.
It's a weird zone.
That it is. Speaking of a weird zone, we should probably take our break and get on to hour 2 of the show. You guys still have some good comments, some good questions here as we reflect on the end of the Nebraska men's basketball season. Of course, we will keep you up to date with all the happenings in the portal as Nebraska looks to replace 7 seniors. Huge thanks to Jeff Grace III for stopping by. Great to catch up with JG3 as the Huskers win the college basketball crown. We'll talk some more college hoops and some college volleyball straight ahead in hour 2 of On the Block.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown's Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular priced athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman, middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, on air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
And you. We're taking your texts to start the hour off here. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you, joined by your thoughts on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, 402-464-5685. But Strick, what you munching on, partner? What was lunch? What was the za?
Shout out to Valentino's coming through, taking care of us.
What they do.
Like they do on Mondays here at the ticket. But a little M&M's just to kind of give it a little chocolatey flow, to get the peppery taste out, Yeah.
I noticed those are peanut M&Ms. Are those your favorite M&Ms?
Yeah. I think I've shifted to peanut.
What were you before you shifted to peanut?
The plains were cool, as a young fella, but I think I shifted to the peanut.
Peanut butter?
I definitely have learned something though, that
which is
when I went overseas, they don't have all of the nasty stuff.
Oh, yeah. The stuff that sits in your gut makes you feel heavy.
Yeah, it actually was pretty good. I actually looked at the ingredients. I was like, you know what? Not only the food's different, but even the candy is different. Like even when I ate pasta and I ate bread, I didn't feel. You know what I mean? But I still like them every now and then. I picked these up. I picked these up when I went to a Supernova game.
There you go.
Yeah, went up there, had a little time. Shout out to OG CJ. I went with my guy.
How about that?
Yeah, he's a good listener. He's a listener.
He is. We appreciate OG CJ. Your boy checked out a hockey game.
You did?
I did.
Stars?
Vegas Knights.
Oh, you went to the Knights?
But your Lincoln Stars, our Lincoln Stars, regular season conference champs. So
yeah,
huge shout out.
They look good this year.
Coach Russo.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like things in Nebraska are starting to turn around. We'll see. It's starting to get some championship action going on.
How about it?
Let's turn it on.
Let's turn our attention here to the text line. A few questions to get to here. Let's start with Gus Mohawk. With Bryce Williams' career over at Nebraska, rank these players: Bryce, Duran Petaway, JPJ, or Bryce McGowan's.
You asking me?
I'm asking you.
I'm asking them.
If you need time to think, I can go.
I'm asking them.
I've been thinking about this one a little bit.
Okay, let me make sure I'm hearing you correctly.
Bryce Williams, James Palmer Jr., Duran Petaway, Bryce McGowan's.
What about him?
Rank their Nebraska careers.
Bryce last.
Which Bryce?
McGowan.
Okay.
Duran Petaway, James Palmer, and then Bryce. I think
wavelengths.
Yeah.
Bryce Williams led a team to back-to-back 20-win seasons. Right. Again, not something that happens at Nebraska. First team, All Big Ten player, 2 postseason appearances. It's kind of splitting hairs between him and James Palmer Jr. I think if I'm starting a team with one player, we had this discussion a month or two ago. If we're starting a team with a player, I'm probably taking JPJ because I think Bryce Williams is a great kind of fill-in connective piece when used ideally. But Bryce won more games in 2 years at Nebraska than the majority of players win in 2 years at Nebraska, right? First team All Big Ten player after, I think, honorable mention or third team last year, despite being the third option for Nebraska. We're going to look back in a few years, and I think, I don't know how we're going to think about Bryce Williams, Stricky, because I know you and I have been, I would say tough but fair on him. I think we respect and appreciate all the great things that he's done for Nebraska, but I always think we wondered if there was a little bit more in there. And I don't know if you saw these same conversations that I did or not. And we'll keep it with Bryce Williams for now. But, is Bryce Williams a quote-unquote all-time Husker for you? What do you interpret all-time to mean? And does he rise to that level for you?
See, that's the thing. It's tough. I'd like to hear from you guys. 402-464-5685. I think it's tough. I think it's tough to assess because even if somebody really wanted to say that, there's two things of how you can make that, for me, assessment. You can talk about the impact in the 2 years, but because the game has changed with the transfer portal and with guys coming and going, it's very rare that you have four-year guys now. You know what I mean? So because of that, it's tough to assess because there will be some that's listening that have seen the course of careers of certain guys that have come through a 4-year stint. And it's tough to say that in 2. But you can't deny the impact that he's had in the 2 years that he's been here. So that's a tough one for me. And I don't want to be biased by saying one way or the other. So
yeah, that's
I might leave that out.
Especially as a program alumni, I completely get on board and respect that. And I think, the day after is maybe not the right time to have this discussion, but we were asked, and it's certainly a discussion going on out there. And I do think, Strick, that when we look back, how we view Bryce Williams will really depend on how the next handful of years go for Nebraska. If this is the high water mark, I think we look back at Bryce Williams a little more fondly. Oh, look how much he put Nebraska on his back, right? I think that, and I don't say maybe more fondly, I'll retract that statement. We'll look back at Bryce Williams and give him, a little brighter red Superman cape, right? Oh, I mean, look at those Nebraska teams that he drugged to 20 wins back-to-back years. He was a first team All Big Ten player in the year they didn't miss the Big Ten tournament. It wasn't Bryce's fault. I'm saying it was. It wasn't Bryce's fault that Nebraska missed the Big Ten tournament. But Nebraska wouldn't have missed the Big Ten tournament if Bryce Williams was an all-time Nebraska guy, to me. And that's hard to say because, again, first team All Big Ten, most points scored in a single season in Husker history. We see the talent. We can't deny the talent that Bryce Williams is. It led to more results than most players at Nebraska have gotten since he left campus. But he always felt like there could have been a little bit more. And it's a complicated legacy for me. It's not as complicated with Juwan Gary. That's another one that will go down as an all-time fan favorite, and deservedly so, for all the work Juwan put in to transform himself, his game, become a vital player to grow by leaps and bounds. I just don't see Juwan as an all-time Husker in the stat sheet, in the record books, even by reputation, right? Fan favorite. I'm not telling you that Juwan was a bad player. Juwan was a key player. Juwan turned into a really good player. But I'm not taking him in the top 10 of my all-time Huskers draft.
Right. Well, just run me all 5 of your, honestly, and I won't even blink an eye if I'm not in it, and that's fine.
Well, obviously,
but
you're
I'm
in the convo at the very least.
Run me 5 of just off the top of the head of who you think should be in that number.
Well, how about this? I have this written down just for moments just like this. I don't think I deleted it. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here we go. Yeah. All-time Nebraska ball. I think you and I went through and did this, right? Did this maybe? Okay.
Well, before you do it, John Cortland says, compared to Pike, Strick, Mikey Moore, go clear back, Rich King, Dave Hoppin, clear on out the back door, Stu Lance. That's what he throws out. Just shout out to John Cortland. Go ahead.
I'll go T. Lou, Stricky, JPJ, Pike, Vincent Hamilton.
Vincent. Wow. I like that.
He's Nebraska's last player of the year.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Vincent was he kind of was looked over. And no, I mean, like, you knew that happened, but you kind of looked over him.
It was the tail end of that era.
Right? Man, but Vince was a problem. He both hands, run, block shots, long, soft touch. I actually like Vincent. I like this game as a young fellow.
I'll tell you this. When I did this all-time Nebraska ball team over the summer, I didn't have Bryce Williams in there because he had another year left to play. I'd take Bryce Williams on my all-time team over like Kerry Cohorn, who's the best three-point shooter in Nebraska history. I'd take Bryce over him. Depending on the type of team I'm trying to put together, Bryce versus Brian Carr is an interesting discussion. Bryce versus Jerron Boone is an interesting discussion. They're not the same player. Bryce versus Siobhan Shields is an interesting discussion I think we could get into. And that's the range that I think ultimately Bryce will settle in for me. Really good player on some of the better teams for Nebraska. Maybe in 5 years, I'll look back and say, yeah, I was selling Bryce short. But in the moment, that's just where I land with number 3. Yeah.
Shout out.
Brad says Lou, Strick, McRae, Pike, Petaway. Let's see here. Derek Incar says Bryce had less talent around him than Palmer. Maybe we should take that under consideration. LOL. Great show. That is an interesting point to raise because Palmer was part of that death lineup for Nebraska. It was him, Anton Gill, Glenn Watson, Evan Taylor, Isaiah Roby, Isaac Copeland, really the 6 guys that would factor into that. Last year's Nebraska team was just different. They weren't built the same way. So it's hard to judge. 1-to-1, I'd probably take the players from the first team, but that team last year, Stricky, knew each other and just played so well together.
They did. They gelled. And sometimes that matters. I would say that I would take a team that gels more so than a team that is superly athletically gifted. And
what KD would say to that? KD would say, yeah, what good's your chemistry going to do? And you have to guard Steph.
Well, yeah, look, like I really felt that way after getting a chance to watch the attitudes of everybody when we walked into the gym and they saw Nebraska on our jerseys, on our shirts, and they thought it was going to be an easy win until we went out there and busted. And it was one of those things. We had athleticism, we had fundamentals, and we understood roles.
Yeah.
We understood that me, Dre, Curtis Marshall, Badge was running. We understood those were the athletic guys. We're penetrating and we're finding Jason Glocks and Lee, what was Lee's last name? Gosh darn it. Lee could shoot it too. I mean, we were
getting your boy.
Man, my mind just drew a blank. But he played in Nebraska with us. He was there for a period.
Early or late for you?
Lee was just after us. So I think he was 1 year younger than me, or if we might have been the same year. But we had Jason Glocks and we had shooters.
I sent you that thing. Glock's son Marcus was talking some major issue.
He was talking crazy. Yeah, he was talking crazy. But yeah, man, sometimes
Lee or Leaf?
Lee. No, Leaf was a center. He was a guard.
I didn't know if he could stroke it though.
Lee played in the state of Nebraska, out west somewhere, but he also played at Nebraska. And was Lee? I think his last name started with an S.
Steinbrook.
That's it. Steinberg. That's it. Lee. He could shoot. We'd find those guys. We'd penetrate and find those guys, and they would knock them down, and people would be like, go home with an L.
But isn't that what Nebraska has to get back to? Is find those guys that play a role? Find the role for everyone and find the everyone for the role. That's where it's strict. I want to get to this from Corey. I think it's a good lead in. Corey still raises the question about how different this year, looks with Rink Mast and where it would have shown most. We've had that conversation quite a bit. But the revelation to me in Vegas was how much different this team would have looked with production from the point guard position. The only thing that Cale Jacobson did in Vegas was what Raleigh Wooster was supposed to be when he brought in. Cale played the way Raleigh was supposed to. That's all Cale did. And I'm not saying that's all Cale did to minimize it.
But could shoot. But can make it.
But he made the open one.
He shot with arch, too. That thing goes to the rafters.
And he's a lefty, so I know you're about that.
Yeah.
But so Cale obviously was the story. Wasn't the point guard, but played some point guard. Sam Hoiberg was legitimately aggressive, hit some movement, threes, stepped up when the moment called for it. And Aaron Eulis. The best we saw him play in his final 4 games at Nebraska. So, yes, having the passing, floor-stretching big man would have gone a long way for Nebraska. But, Strick, how many games could Nebraska have kept other teams at bay, or if they had a point guard that could hit that mid-range shot or wouldn't hijack the offense or stall the offense by not taking an open enough shot? If Nebraska would have had that level of point guard play for the previous 31 games, that would have been a whole different season.
That's a fact. That's why it was... I was a little perturbed, but then I was a little inspired when you saw he found himself in the starting lineup. Like that takes big sack. It really does. But even more for him, because you had to be ready. Like your whole year, you could have been pouting, you could have been sad, you could have been flipping people off. There's all types of stuff you could have been doing, but you just stayed ready.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. That's a homegrown kid that loves Big Red. And you need that. That's why we loved our Markowskis. We loved our Chad Ideases. We loved our Jason Glocks. We loved our Lee Steinberg. We loved our guys that, was able to stay, that stayed because we knew they bled red.
But the other part about this is I don't want to sell Cale or Sam short, but if they're the guy for you, that's different than them being a guy for you.
Yeah. I think they need to be a part of a collective.
Yes.
Yeah,
they have a role.
Yeah, they have a role. That's a fact.
Last one, then we'll take our first break of hour 2. OG Les Lancaster.
Pause. Real quick before OG. That's my guy. OG, shout out to OG. No, real quick pause, because I want to address one more thing before we get into another one. Boryuktin gel, BK needs to be in the lab.
Straight.
Like, if he's not in the lab, like, I'm talking about, matter of fact, you can't go back to Turkey, my boy.
No.
Whoever we got you working out with here, you might get 1 week, you know what I'm saying? But everything else is right back here, my boy, because you need to be in the lab.
I mentioned this with Bach and Strick. I think it bears repeating here, too. We knew Bear K was up and down, right? He'd have his good games, have his bad games. To see just how bad he was pretty much every night after that ankle injury was concerning. It does sting that his best game was the one that he goes down, with an unfortunately timed injury very late in that Ohio State game, and it keeps him out. But despite that, you had 3 weeks off, and you couldn't come up with one good performance? Not one. Started him, didn't do anything. Brought him off the bench, didn't do anything. Benched him till there was 1 minute and 7 seconds left in the first half. Didn't do anything. He did not look engaged. He was fumbling the ball, not making the right play pretty much ever. Sure, there's some defensive hustle and body here and there. But, Strick, I was impressed at how bad Bear K Boyuktin gel looked. Like, I didn't think that was achievable.
I agree. And that's what I'm saying. I'm talking about there needs to be a 180-degree shift. Otherwise, yeah.
One of your most expensive guys can't be your most unplayable guy.
That's a fact.
I just say that.
Like, we need to have a conversation. Like, there needs to be a real like 1 week, my boy. Matter of fact, you got 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
After 10, you need to be on a plane back here, and we in the lab, my boy.
And as much as you're looking at shooting percentages, you're looking at everything else.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that part.
Speaking of that, let's just wrap up the segment. You've addressed this before, but OG Les Lancaster does want to know, will Nebraska fans be able to watch Bryce Williams in the league? Seems like a natural scorer, not a star in the NBA, but could be a good sixth man.
He could be very similar to Malik Beasley.
I see it. Okay.
I think he can be like that. I think he's got a smooth enough stroke.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you leave him alone, if he's your third, fourth guy,
perfect.
I think he fits. If he's got to be your one, he's not like a Cade Cunningham. He's not like, any of those guys that I think can just go out and get it. No. I think he's smooth enough that if you spot him up. If he was like on the Lakers, they would love him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it's going to be the fit. I think if he's with San Antonio, they would love him. I think he's a perfect fit for certain types of teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah. I don't think he's a Nick. I don't think he's a Nick type player.
No.
The Nick hard-nosed, get after you defensively.
Probably not.
I don't even think New York's the type of place for Bryce. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like,
I could see him in Milwaukee.
Yes. Something like that. Detroit, I could see.
Potentially.
Maybe Cleveland. Doubt it. But I don't think it's a fit because of their roster makeup.
Boston?
Yeah. Yeah. All long, a bunch of them, but they have a lot of them already. Then, I mean, I think if you're going to move, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think he could be better for them than Buddy Hield is. Because I think he could play defense. Buddy, I don't think plays a lick of D.
Fair. Bryce can maybe handle a little bit.
Yeah.
Buddy's an elite shooter, though.
Elite shooter.
Bryce is really good.
Elite shooter. But that's why I said it's not just along the shooting lines. I think it's the other things that would make him better for them than him.
Yeah, no, I get on board with that. Some other news out of Nebraska land, not Husker land, but out of Nebraska. Kirsten Bernthal Booth resigns out of the blue. Got some interesting Nebraska Creighton questions to throw your way. You won't want to miss them on the other side.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine & More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, Now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Get ready for spring by joining an evidence-based program to improve your health and well-being. These programs use proven strategies to help you make lasting changes, whether it's boosting nutrition, increasing activity, managing stress, or enhancing wellness. Invest in yourself today and feel your best this spring and beyond. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
This is On the Block. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you. This segment of the show is brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Really appreciate them, everything they do for us here on this show. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is based out of Hallam, and they offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl, triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while still keeping their prices affordable. If you want to learn more today, you can call 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Breaking news, Stricky. Just during our last segment, Nebraska has its first transfer portal entry. Care to guess who it is?
Someone jumped in the portal.
Someone jumped in the portal, leaving Nebraska.
Don't tell me it's Kale.
Is that your guess?
Yeah.
It is not Kale. Correct pigmentation, though.
Connor already said he's not leaving.
It's Gavin Griffiths.
Oh, I could have figured that. Yeah.
16 out of 35 games played in for Nebraska.
I could have figured that. Yeah.
With the addition of Price Sanford, writing was kind of on
in the role. Yeah. Yeah. So, I could see that.
Wish Gavin Griffiths the best. That's a player I still thought could have been useful for Nebraska. It didn't work out here. I bet that's a guy that goes back home, maybe MAAC, Northeast Conference, something like that, and probably carves out a niche there.
Niche for himself. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So best of luck to Gavin Griffiths, officially the first Nebraska player to enter the transfer portal. Also entering the transfer portal, after a manner of speaking, Creighton volleyball head coach Kirsten Bernthal Booth, retiring after a long time in charge of Creighton. Very successful run for her. She's taking a front office role with Love Volleyball Omaha said she felt like the time was right for her to get out of coaching. Obviously, incredibly accomplished coach. I mean, 502 career wins at Creighton, 3-time National Coach of the Year, won the Big East 11 times, 14 NCAA tournaments, made 4 Sweet 16s, 2 Elite 8s in that run as well. But Stricky, Creighton left one very notable stat off of Kirsten Bernthal Booth's appreciation post. The number 0.
0
wins over Nebraska. They left it off the post.
What?
I know. It's too bad.
They need to put that on my post.
0 losses to Creighton.
Facts.
That's what they need. Well, first of all, before we, all jokes aside, heck of a career from KBB. That's a big void in the state of Nebraska now, Stricky, with both John Cook and Kirsten Bernthal Booth announcing they're stepping away from volleyball. For Cook, it's a retirement. Bernthal Booth, we'll see if she gets back to coaching someday, if this is just a pause or what it is. A pause. My apologies.
Yo.
But, Strick, no hire is guaranteed to succeed. Nebraska gets Danny Busboom Kelly. Creighton taps Brian Rosen, who's already on staff, to take over for Kirsten Bernthal Booth. If you're the state of Nebraska and you are hinging so much of your athletic reputation on volleyball, you need your 2 big volleyball programs to get these hires right.
Facts.
Otherwise, you're going to turn into the ACC of volleyball states, and you can't have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be important who they draw from, right? Good career though for her, I've got to say.
Heck of a career.
Heck of a career. No wins, but you definitely don't want to miss. Do you stay internal in state, or do you go to like even because I think Omaha they did. They hired.
They just promoted the associate head
inside.
coach. Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's been there.
Well, hopefully, yeah. So he understands the culture. He understands what they've been doing, what they built, what he's got on the roster. Oh, yeah. So it's okay. We'll see. Got to hit though.
Would not be mad if Creighton didn't hit, to be completely honest. Maybe Nebraska went the Duke men's basketball route, and Creighton went the Hubert Davis, North Carolina route. But Stricky.
And while you're wearing blue?
I'm wearing Royals blue because it's Royals baseball season. Blue. No, sir. So you see the
no, I don't see that.
City.
I don't see that, my boy. I see straight blue with Creighton blue.
Well, that's cat. I will throw mine across the room at you to get you to see straight. But that aside, Stricky.
That aside.
Creighton, not just Kirsten Bernthal Booth. No Creighton coach, no Creighton team has ever taken down Nebraska in volleyball. Little Sis has never once beat Big Sis in a game of volleyball. And yes, I use Sis intentionally. For those who know, you know. But Stricky, for all the success that Nebraska volleyball has had against Creighton, been hit or miss in the other sports. Basketball is kind of alternating right now, but we're coming off really a decade of Creighton dominance in that series. I'm just saying, it brings me no pleasure to report.
Up, man. I don't like to hear that.
Then change the facts.
No,
baseball.
You just got to understand how much upset I was when that shift happened.
Man,
you got to think about the places I played, and I had to hear all the noise.
Think about where you're from. You had to hear that.
Yeah, man, it's not good. Okay, I'll take it.
Baseball's lost 12 of the last 14
bruh.
to Creighton.
Bruh.
And so, Husker fans, we'll start with you, Stricky, but Husker fans need you to chime in.
Do they have a softball team?
I don't
Creighton?
believe
I don't think they do.
So. No, and Omaha has one. I don't believe Creighton does. But Stricky,
yeah.
If I told you Nebraska men's basketball was guaranteed to win its first game in the NCAA tournament, but that Nebraska volleyball would lose to Creighton in the same regular season, are you making that trade? Are you trading one regular season loss for one postseason win?
I'm going to sit here and go on a limb and on a branch and sit there and say no.
Ooh!
Let's keep rolling, Husker volleyball. Let's keep rolling. I'm not sacrificing that.
Is that deep to you?
Yeah. Matter of fact, my daughter wants to go to a game this year, so they play Arizona.
They do.
So that's she wants to go. So it's her senior year. So daddy has to make that happen for baby girl. Got to make it happen.
That'd be awesome. Okay, Stricky, what about, would you trade a Nebraska volleyball loss to Creighton for the first time ever for Nebraska baseball hosting a regional?
Same thing. Same answer.
You're not doing it?
Not giving
doing
it up. Especially now that Cook has went on and into the land of retirement, sitting on the beach having Mai Tais and he's a married man, so him and his wife.
What about one loss to Creighton for Nebraska volleyball for a 5-game win streak over Creighton in men's basketball?
No, I'm rolling.
I'm all about
the volleyball. But the volleyball has been the best and most consistent thing about Nebraska sports at this particular time.
It has
in history.
It has,
and so I'm not gonna really look. I would love others to raise their bar, but they've got to raise their bar, and I don't want to do it at the expense of another.
5985 says, that's crazy talk. These are all easy yeses for me.
Mm.
What's the deep down rationale for why it's a no for you?
Because nothing was ever given to me. I had to go out and get. I've always been someone that's been overlooked. You could have said I played second fiddle, but I never believed that. And I just believe I have to rise myself for the occasion of whatever it is that I need to raise my level to. And it's up to me to do it. I have to take the onus. I have to take accountability. I have to take the responsibility of doing that. Mm-hmm. And so therefore, I don't want it to happen at the expense of another. I don't want it like I'll give you an example. So had a high ankle sprain, probably similar to BK's. This is when I learned the lesson of get healthy. Don't go before your time. Stay as long as you need until you're fully ready to step up. Because in the game of basketball professionally, that doesn't account for you wanting to try to help the team at the expense of an injury. Mm-hmm. And this is where I'm getting to. Mm-hmm. I don't want to sacrifice nothing else. Mm-hmm. So then you come back the next year. Big Don Nelson, shout out to Big Don Nelson. He's one of the best coaches I've been around. He says, hey, and I love this about him because he was truly authentic and honest. He says, listen, you're number 15. He said, you're the last guy on the bench. So, I just wanted to sit you down and tell you. And so I could have taken that, pouted, went into my own little corner and, been all sad and made all kinds of noise and so forth and so on. But I just said, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I went in, put in the work, came ready. Guys got hurt. This is during exhibition, and I go nuts in exhibition. I think I averaged 20-something in exhibition throughout the Start her again. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's why I say I don't want it. Look, if the door peeks open, I'm trying to kick it in. Mm-hmm. And I want to take that accountability. This is what you told me I am. Okay, let me show you that I'm not. And that's what I want for the teams to be able to step up. Not at I don't want it. Like who would want to wrestle somebody with an injury? Like, I bet if we set the wrestlers in here.
Intro Taylor tomorrow at 4, by the way.
They would want to take somebody at their best. No boxer wants to fight someone that broke his hand and he's down one hand. I don't want to hear no excuse. I don't want to hear no excuse. Don't give me the excuses, because that's what they're going to do. Like, for example, how many people feel a certain way by what Javonte Davis said? Oh, I had stuff drop out of my hair. I just got my hair done. I had grease going to my eyes, is why I took a knee.
You don't take a knee, bruh.
Really? Like, for real? Like,
yeah.
At the expense. No, that man came to fight. I'm giving him credit because he stepped in toe to toe, looked you in your face, and gave you the business. Mm-hmm. That's what that's the pedigree I come from. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm wrong.
It's
Whoever
an
said
opinion. It's an opinion. That's
whoever
the fun
said
part.
that, maybe I'm different.
That was 59.85. Let's see here. 39.94 says a loss to Creighton doesn't end Husker volleyball season. A win in the tournament is everything. Cubsker says, can you promise the Nebraska basketball win is a 16 over 1 over Duke? No, because Nebraska will not get a 16 seed in a tournament. Also, really appreciate your kind words earlier there on the text line, Cubsker. Scott in Lincoln says, the only thing that would change it for me is if the Husker football team would make the college football playoff.
Okay, now, Stricky might sacrifice that.
That seems like a super big deal, though. So
That's a huge deal.
What if the trade-off was Nebraska volleyball loses to Creighton, or Nebraska football gets a top 5 win?
Top 5 in football?
Yeah, be a top 5 team.
Nah, I'm not going for that. I'm going for them
only if it's a playoff.
If they get in the playoff,
okay.
I would take that.
Okay,
I would take that. And I'm not talking a bottom seed player. I'm talking mid-tier up.
6 and higher.
Yeah.
Okay. Old Dad 34 says, make them boys earn their wins, like Stricky's staying.
Who said that?
Old Dad 34.
Old Dad 34, my guy.
That's probably where I'm at too.
Cap.
Because yo boy, Petty Wop, 1738. Straight Petty Wop.
Austin.
Stricky.
You're not even cut from that cloth, Austin.
Your boy's Petty Wop.
You Petty Wop?
As much as I root for teams, I also root against teams.
Okay.
Right?
Except Duke.
As much as I root for Duke, I root against
Duke.
North Carolina. As much as I root for Nebraska when it's appropriate, root against Iowa. Root against Wisconsin. Root against Creighton especially. Right?
Okay, I'm about to say.
So, I was getting there.
That Creighton
Just give me a second.
Okay.
Just give me a second. 2267 says Fetty Wop, not Petty Wop. Welcome to the joke. Welcome to the joke, 2267.
Yeah, and welcome to the Strictionary, because we say Petty Wop.
Straight Petty Wop. Trust me, we know. I am very familiar with Fetty Wop as a fan of the 2015 Royals. But Stricky, I was thinking about this too in the context of Duke's loss to Houston. Duke has lost sort of that evil empire feel to them, right? Everyone hates them, but Duke doesn't crush dreams, right? Teams get their storybook ending by beating Duke. Duke doesn't step on them like they're the ant nearly as much as they did in the 90s or even, early mid to 2000s and 2010s, right? Nebraska volleyball is still the evil empire, big sister over Creighton. And that's so fun. When you can play with your food, you can toy with them. You just hold your arm out, that they can swing all they want and they can't reach you. There is something so spitefully satisfying about that in beating a rival that I don't want to give up. Will Creighton beat Nebraska in the regular season? Probably at some point. Hard to imagine it won't happen, given how many close calls they've had in the last handful of years. Huge credit to Creighton for building up their volleyball program. But it is still a huge point of pride that Nebraska has never lost to Creighton in volleyball. Keep that
energy
going.
Yes.
Keep that energy. Give them no hope.
I agree.
Give them no life. Beat them every time you see them because it's fun.
Yeah. I've got to just quick throw this out because a lot of people, again, I was asleep, man, when I heard the word that Duke ended up losing that game. I had turned it off and I was like, okay, that's over with. And when I turned it back on, so let me ask you this question, real talk. It's not WTF, but it's real talk. That team being young, they're a young team. Do you think that had something? Because I said if they lose this game, it's going to be because of youth. It's going to be because of mistakes. It's going to be because of something that occurred. Do you say that's the case or just a case of bad luck? Do you think the youth bit them? Or do you?
I don't think the youth is a non-factor, but I think it's a little overblown.
Okay.
Because I'll go. Let me go this route with it, right? But what was the narrative for Cooper Flag? Doesn't get it done in crunch time. Doesn't get it done in the clutch. You remember the turnovers against Kansas, against Kentucky, and against Clemson. But you forget who it was making the plays and hitting the shots to keep Duke in those games to begin with, right? The last possessions did not go Cooper Flag's way. But Stricky, despite the little run that Houston made, I thought the game was over when Coop hit that 3 to push the lead back to 7 or 8 and then blocked the shot out of bounds the next possession, right? Okay, that feels like it was probably enough. Ended up not being enough. I was wrong. It happens. Where I'm a little, I'll give you the youth experience is that Kaman Malawach got absolutely sunned.
Boy.
Right? I mean, no rebounds.
No rebounds
minus
at 7-2?
20 or 21 at 7-2. But you talk about stuff going on behind the scenes. Earlier that day, federal government said they were immediately revoking all visas for people from South Sudan, where Kaman Malawach is from. Is it youth as an inexperience on that stage? Or is that young man wondering if he's even going to be in the country in a couple of days, right? Is that an excuse? Is that a reason? It's life be lifing. You know? I think it was maybe a missed opportunity when Tyrese Proctor didn't give Coop the ball for the free throws at the end. That's not an experience. That's an upperclassman guard. That's an upperclassman guard making that decision, missing his free throw. That's not an experience.
I'm him.
Cooper, did he get too aggressive on that over the back call? Maybe there's one funky movement, but I didn't think that was a foul. You didn't think that was a foul?
No.
You know, so it's hard to say that was an inexperienced move. Con Knippel played well. Duke went and got some experienced veterans. Sion James wasn't great, but again, that's the other guy that bumped his head pretty hard. Mason Gillis was fine. Malik Brown playing on one shoulder was fine. So yeah, I mean, inexperience, sure, but by your 39th game of the year, are you really young anymore?
No. But here's the other beautiful thing about what you got going on. And for some reason, Duke has a way of doing this, whether it be legacy kids, but Knuppel has 4 brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look, that's visionary. That's visionary recruiting, my boy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go get him. And they say the third one of them, I think, is Cash. They think he's the one that made. No, the youngest one.
K2, Con. The one we just had. He's going to be the best.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Con's a stud, man. Love me some Con Knippel. Which
they say one of the brothers is going to be better, but you can't see it that far down. You can't see little Herbie having a stroke. Pause. Not the negative stroke, but a shooting stroke.
Yes, Eric Strick is back on his pause stuff.
Yeah, I bet you that was Eric that said that too.
No, it was literally. He texted that in.
It was Eric.
Yeah, that's I know. What he said.
I know who it is.
Eric is Strick back in pause mode.
I know it. I knew it was Eric before. I didn't even have to look at the text line. I knew who it was. the namesake. The namesake without the K.
Drop the K.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you make the K. 1K, 2K, 3K game check.
No, I am a version of your boy at Pittsburgh from LSU.
Eric says you're
shaky. I can't believe that.
I believe we got to go to break and wrap up the show in just a sec.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for ready mixed concrete in Lincoln. With 3 plants across the city, there are plenty of opportunities to start or grow your driving career. They offer great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they cover the cost of CDL training. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Since 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today with Ready Mixed Concrete. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Imagine a healthier, more active, physically fit version of yourself. If you've been putting off getting into shape, now is the time with the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-Week Challenge. Our program combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to help you achieve your fitness goals. And ticket listeners, you can get $150 off your enrollment. The next 10-week challenge begins on April 12th. You can get all the info at fxblincoln.com. Don't wait any longer. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and March Madness is here, and Koppel is ready to rock and roll. We just closed the books on a tremendous February, and we're locked and loaded for a big March. True 0% APR is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. Koppel also has over 10,500 off list on new select models. So please stop on by and see what confident driving and confident buying is all about. We're right down 144th Street or online at koppelcars.com. All deals with the roof credit, 0% is standalone.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Final segment of the show brought to you by Love Volleyball Omaha. Thanks to them for sponsoring final segment match point of our show. Check them out at lovboma.com today. Stricky, UConn's back on the board. How about what the Huskies did to South Carolina, led by Paige Beckers? Sarah Strong.
Boy,
woo.
Just glorified beatdown. You know, in the words of the old, and I'm gonna say it. Take that.
Dang. Had to go there.
Yeah, they gave it to him.
I dropped this on you before the show. Only 3 players all time have put up these numbers in a single NCAA tournament on either the men's side or the women's side. 100 points, 20 steals or blocks combined, 15 assists, 10 threes, 10 or fewer turnovers. Only 3 players in men's tournament or women's tournament history have put up those numbers, it was 3 players on UConn. This year.
Wow.
Not like Diana Taurasi, Brianna Stewart, and Paige Beckers. It was Paige Beckers, Azzy Fudden, and Strong. This year. For an off-year UConn team that only got a 2 seed.
Yes, that's
Sick,
wild.
man.
But look, well coached. They put together a game plan and got it done in a grandiose way. Shout out to them.
How about this then, too, Stricky? Over the weekend, just yesterday, I believe it was, Alex Ovechkin breaks the NHL career scoring mark, or the goals scored mark. Obviously not total points. That still belongs to
the great one,
Wayne Gretzky. OptaStats tweets this out. This is the first time since what season that the NBA's all-time scoring record and the NHL's all-time goals record were both held by active players? What year do you think that was last the case? NBA leading scorer and NHL leading goal scorer, both active.
Early 80s, like 84.
Earlier.
82.
1970-71. Gordie Howe played his final season before his first retirement, and Wilt Chamberlain was playing for the Lakers.
Oh, see, I was going with Gretzky and Kareem.
Kareem.
It was
Kareem wasn't quite there.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
All right. We'll wrap the show with this, Ricky. Who you got tonight? Chomp Chomp or Cougs?
I'm going Florida.
SEC bias, SEC homer.
No, I actually really want
can't root
Houston,
for Houston
to win.
You can't root for Houston?
Because
that's
like
the rival.
Samson. I like Samson.
That's the rival. The rival city.
I like Samson. I just think the work he's put in over the time he's put it in. I'd like to see him finally get it done. And that's just being honest.
Yeah.
Because he's been around a long time, been close. Houston been there 5 times?
A handful.
Never gotten through.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Probably should in 84.
Right. And just I like those teams that have continued to show it and finally break through. And I'm hoping that that's the case for them.
Houston has taken the step that St. Mary's never did. Defense first program that also flips the switch on offense. I've been a fan and admirer of the Houston program from a distance for a while now. Sucks that they got to the championship this year of all years. I guess, it's what I get. My heart was ripped out of me and thrown off my 7th story window on Saturday. Florida's fun, man. Florida's really fun. But I trust Houston a little bit more. Houston hasn't lost in regulation since November. Hard to pick against the Cougs, so
we'll see. Looking forward to it.
Most importantly, there's a crown outside our window, taped to the window. Nebraska men's basketball wins the college basketball crown. We'll be back with a short show tomorrow. Special guest potentially coming on later in the week. You won't want to miss that. For Strick, I'm Austin. Old School comes your way right after this.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of